Hello people, I'm Gabe. Today I'm going to show you some features that have been introduced in the Create Mod update number 6, specifically related to the chain conveyor and the ways you can use it for transport. Now, in this building there is a very basic but also fairly useful setup for storing various amounts of items. As you can see, there's quite a lot of item vaults. You could probably put a lot of stuff in those. Interestingly, there's a collecting items thing in there. But incredibly, the setup for doing this is actually fairly simple. Over there I have maybe a better way to see it without any other stuff. As you can see, there's the whole thing. This item match isn't even that necessary for that. Essentially what you have to do to set up a basic storage system with this feature is you must have either a seated mob or a single blaze burner right next to this thing called a stock ticker. This is essentially the best way I could put it is essentially the applied energetics controller, which basically just acts as a main hub for a single system of storage. Now, your blaze burner or your animal or mob or actually even monster, I could suppose you could put a ghast in there, but I don't know if they can see it. This is your terminal. This is essentially the way you can interact with the items, request them, but not put them back for some reason. To do that, you actually have to do a separate circuit, you could say. For this I made a single chest and a button. What it does is the button activates the redstone and activates this block. Now this block, what it does is takes all of the stuff from the chest and puts it in a package. I'll showcase it for you right now. This is some redstone. As you can see, it put it in a package. Now I also have it set up, you could see here, to send it to whatever is tagged as exposed storage. Yes, you do it with signs, it's sort of like Botania. And it happens that exposed storage is exactly this frog. Now, this is a frog port. What it does is just, it allows you to put stuff in these. But the address that the box is to is described only by like the item itself. So you put exposed storage in here. The packager puts like the tag of the destination, and then allows the frog port to actually make it go on the single chain line on the chain conveyor. Apparently, they have some sort of routing system where you don't necessarily have to block it to a single chain to have it actually go to the spot you're assuming it goes to, which is good. So what the package does, as you might have seen, if we send it from here, from our sender mechanism, is it goes through the chain, and then it knows that it has to go back because that's the only way it can get to that tag. So it goes back around, it gets detected by this frog, and it actually takes it in. Now, the only way you can actually see the contents of this item vault is if you actually connect it to the system, because it would automatically do this already, but you wouldn't be able to see it. To do this, use the stock link, which is basically, I guess you could assume it's like the storage bus from Applied Energetics. It just connects a chest to the whole Applied Energetics system. This is that, and as you can see, here we can observe that there are 192 dirt, 64 glow ink, and 64 redstone, right? Which is the same right here in the item vault, if you can see above there, with the one probe equivalent. And that's literally just it. You have essentially a terminal and a controller, those two things. You have a mechanism for pushing stuff back, you could say, which is just that. And you must also have a storage. That's it. Also, something very interesting about this system is that you can sort of use it as a post system. As you can see, there's this tag over here, right? And if it's set as exposed link, which is our guy over here, you can put items from that chest into our return. Alright, yes, this is both the return and the receive. Essentially, it just acts as an inventory. You can interact with the system. It's sort of like how logistic pipes, or I think also Tom's Simple Storage has it, where the terminal just acts as an interface, and there's also like a single in some mods there's a storage inside of the terminals, the terminal, but also in other mods you have to use a separate chest for getting the items or pushing them back. But yeah, that out of the way, as you can see, if I click send, it sends it to our exposed link, our basically buffer chest. But an interesting thing about this is that you don't have to send it to this chest. You can send it to anywhere. Anywhere that can be even far away, meaning this is technically a delivery system. If I want to send, for instance, 64 glow ink sacks to our other facility over there, all I have to do is change this. I could write it. The warehouse is called Bibo Warehouse, but also Create allows you to have this clipboard where you can put anything over here, and it will act as essentially an equivalent to just writing it out inside of the terminal. For instance, if I write this word over here, you can see it pops up over here. Let me cancel it. And also, as you can see, to write it with the box, you also have to use the slash. If I write it without any slash, it doesn't actually show up. Which could be, I guess, useful for titles, or to just not confuse any other clipboards that might be around the base. But yeah, if I want to send it to the Bibo warehouse, let's send it to the link actually, it just allows me to do that. And if we follow along the package, this the nice texture they have, by the way, if we follow it along, we can see that it actually does get over here, and we can see the glow ink sack. And essentially, by expanding this concept, we can end up with much larger storage. As you can see, the basis of this warehouse is actually the same thing we have over there. Maybe it's a little simpler because it uses redstone links rather than redstone itself. But you could say redstone itself is just a little cheaper. Actually, let me... The redstone link used to have brass, but now, yeah, it uses andesite casing and a transmitter. It's not necessarily super cheaper, but you could use less copper if you are doing this at a large scale. Now, how come that multiple of these can take from the same line? Well, it's actually incredibly simple. Since they just care about the tag, as soon as they see something that has that tag as a destination, they'll just take it. There's no questions asked other than that. And if they're on the same level, such as this guy and this guy, I'm pretty sure either the closest one will take it or the one that is further up. Probably the closest one, which makes more sense in terms of priority. But yeah, this is just how it works. And you just have to create more of these packager, frogport, and stocklink combos. And you'll basically have the same amount of storage as an applied energetics system. Although you might have to create something larger for the same stuff. But essentially it just works the same. Other than that, another interesting thing I saw about chain conveyors is that they're kind of like power lines, interestingly. So they're good because you can transfer items with them, but you can also transfer rotational energy. Now, I am not sure if there's a particular major stress unit decrease or increase, impact, you could say, for using these instead of shafts. Although, realistically, that wouldn't make a lot of sense, since they're just chains. There's nothing really necessary to work hard for in terms of stress. But yeah, you can use these both as your item transport and also as your rotational energy transport, which is very interesting because you could say have a system where, like, imagine a lot of people's bases really need both rotational energy and item transport, and this is a fantastic way of doing that. Especially because, as you can see over here, you can like do a bunch of movements with them. They're not necessarily stuck to the grid, you could say. They're perfect. You can even go up and down with them, like that. And this isn't something that you would probably have a lot of trouble with shafts. I feel like there's a lot of potential in transporting rotational energy with this. You could suppose that in the future we might see power lines of rotational energy with those chains, which honestly I might even prefer to the underground shaft systems that most people use. But yeah, other than that, I just really like this system that they added in Crate, so I wanted to make a video about it. And maybe next time I'll try to showcase a way of transporting fluids, because at least you could have like 100% functionality with applied energetics. But that's about it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.